Welcome. Today we will see a small seminar on cyber attack and fraud detection systems using machine learning approaches. First, we will see introduction to cyber security. Cyber security is a practice which intends to protect computers, networks, programs, and data from the unintended or unauthorized access, changes, or destructions. Means, more precisely, we will say that protects the unauthorized access from the hackers, right? So we are living in a digital era, right? So how we can protect our data from the hackers? This is the main problem, right? So why cyber security? Nowadays, everything is going on web. Major proportion of systems connected to internet. There is a large inventory for intruders to attacks. That's why cybersecurity became major concern in the world computers over a past decades. Cybersecurity attacks are growing both in frequency and sophistication over the years. This increasing sophistication and complexity call for more advancement and continuous innovation in defensive strategies. Right. So types of cyber attacks. So what types? Cyber attack is an illegal attempt to gain something from a computer system. Okay. This can be classified into web-based attacks, system-based attacks. Web-based attacks, these are the attacks on a website or a web application. System-based attacks intended to compromise a computer or a computer network. So you can see the general scenario of a online fraud. Here you can see online fraud in cybersecurity includes online scams, spam, identity theft, a scammer buying for products online from your account without your knowledge, identity spoofing, scam, pop-up alerts, chain letter, scams, etc. So actually here you will see nowadays online fraud become a major problem in our society. So cyber attack is a mean of compromising integrity, confidentiality or availability, that is CIA triad, of the resources, right, or the data to be stored in a computer which is connected to internet or intranet, right? Then characteristics of a cyber attack, that is regimented, harmonized, demanding time and resource, and numerous, organized, not spontaneous or ad hoc. What do you mean by the regimented? Regimented means functionality of the organization with severe damage. Harmonized means to infect the system, the attackers accept the process to be sequenced or harmonized. Right. Then demanding time and resources. Right. Means planning for attack to show made or advance because it needs a lots of time and more money to organize. Then numerous. This will calling a large volume of data loss and financial loss. Then organized. Organized means this will infect the system very quickly, right? And what we will say, easily to get more efficient resources. Then the last one, not spontaneous or ad hoc, means more sophisticated, right? Then web-based attacks, right? So types of attacks, one web-based attacks. First, injection attack. Injection attacks and attacks to inject code into the program or query or inject the malware onto a computer in order to execute remote command that can read or modify a database or changes the data on a website. That is injection attacks, right? Then file inclusive attacks. This is a web vulnerability that is most commonly found to affect web applications that rely on a scripting or on runtime, right? Then cross-site scripting means XSS. This is also the web application to inject the packets or scripts in the web pages to viewed other users, right? DNS spoofing means inject packets to the websites to spoof. Then denial of service, then brute force, then dictionary attack, then buffer overflow, then session hijacking, then URL interpretation, man in the middle attacks, phishing, virus, worms, Trojan horse, backdoors, bots, spoofing, sniffing, port scanning, many more. Right? Later we will see the practical examples in Kali Linux. Right? We will see in next video in practical based scenario by the help of the tool Kali Linux. Right? Then the types of cyber attacks is the pictorial representation. Phishing attack, DDoS, phishing attack, viruses, malware attack, SQL injection, man-in-middle attack, password attack, brute force attack, QAR and keyloggers, then cross-site scripting, right? Then best methods to avoid cyber attacks. What are the best methods, right? What are the best methods? Encrypt the data means encryption is essentially for any online activity. And second, use strong password. Stronger passwords enhance the business security. Use antiviruses. Antiviruses are the sole option when your framework has been defragmented. Then firewall. The routing of your web traffic can be controlled. Then update operating system. Updation enables you to remain a step ahead for your system security. Then intrusion detection installation. It will notify when there's an attempt of breaching on your framework. Then backup your data. Keeping a backup is a vital cases in a accident tracks place, right? Then access restricted information. Restricted the company's information is the liability that your data in a secure hands. Then appoint security experts. For a maintenance of your security system, hire a security expert, right? Your last available options, right? These are the method to avoid cyber attacks, right? Next, cyber security principles suggested by the right? Suggested by the information system. First, installation of newest OS and software. Then use of security software. Use strong passwords. Checking the sharing settings of your system's mobile phone or laptops. Protecting organization from possible threats. These are the security principles, right? Then what are the market trends? 2016 to 2027. Cybersecurity market size exceeded USD 170 billions in 2020 and is poised to grow at over 10% CAGR, means compound annual growth rate between 2021 and 2027. Right? As you as of you now, in future after 2022, the global cybersecurity is estimated to 345.4 billion by 2026. These are estimated, right? The market trends of cybersecurity. You can see the bar graphs, right? Then what are the objectives? Actually, the problems is to find or detect cyber attacks and fraud detection using machine learning, and to test and compare these machine learning algorithms is that which algorithm gives the best accuracy to detect the cyber fraud detection prevention, right? Then what are the motivation towards cyber frauds or cyber security or cyber attacks? In the field of cyber attacks, fraud detection, or in any type of online frauds, that was found my little that found my survey is that the internet era there is so many frauds happened, right? There is so many frauds happened in a day or even an hour also. So for this concern, cybersecurity fraud detection using machine learning algorithms helps to find best accuracy to detect online frauds. Then actually day by day cyber frauds cases are increasing, and due to this some unawareness people are getting trapped by the cyber frauds. So it is very much motivated to learn this literature review or this survey papers to various cyber attacks and how to detect the attacks using various machine learning tools, techniques, and methodologies, and take one step towards cyber attack detection. Actually, it is very much important in today's digital era of internet world, because in the world of internet, cybersecurity plays a vital role to protect all the categories of data from theft and damage, right? Then what are the methodologies used in fraud detection? What are the model? Data feeding, then feature extraction, then training the algorithm, then model creation. How does a machine learning system work for fraud detection? What are the techniques to detect the frauds? Fraud detection uses logistic regression. Logistic regression is a supervised learning technique that is used when the decision is categorical. It means the results will be either fraud or non-fraud if a transaction occurs. Then what are the use cases? Let us consider a scenario where a transaction occurs and we need to check whether it is a fraudulent or non-fraudulent transaction. There will be given a set of parameters that are checked on the basis of probability calculated. We will get the output of fraud or non-fraud, right? These are set of parameters, right? So in the above diagram, we can see that the probability calculated is 0.9. This means that there is a 90% chance that the transaction is genuine, and there is a 10% probability that it is a fraud transaction. Then second, fraud detection use decision tree. Decision tree algorithm is a fraud detection are used where there is a need for the classification of unusual activities in a transaction from from an authorized user. These algorithms consist of constraints that are trained on the dataset for classifying fraud transactions. Right? You can see amount greater than 50,000, then location equal to IP address of the customer. If yes, if no, number of location at the same time greater than one. Yes, 25%, no 70%. Yes, 75%, no 25%. when location is equal to IP address of the customer. The first scenario. Second scenario, number of locations at the same time greater than 1. Sorry, greater 1. Okay, greater than 1. Right. So use case first in the decision tree, we will check whether a transaction is greater than 50,000. If it is yes, then we'll check the location, or else in the transaction mode, right? Then fraud detection using random forest. Random forest uses a combination of decision trees to improve the results. Each decision tree checks for different conditions. They are trained on random data trees, and based on training of the decision tree, each tree gives the probability of the transaction being fraud or and non-fraud. Then the model predicts the results accordingly. Then what should be the use case? Let's consider a scenario where a transaction is made. Now we will see how a random forest machine learning is used in fraud detection algorithm. Here you can see all data, credit card number, then location, then date and time, then IP address, then amount, then frequency, and the in which the location of an IP address that is breaking down, and the tandem forest algorithm should predict the accurate results. Then fraud detection machine learning algorithm is using ADA boost algorithm. Boosting is one of the ensemble techniques. This algorithm is to build strong classifier from weak classifiers. This can be done by building a strong model by using a weak model in the series. Initially, a model is built from the training data. Then the second model is from the first model by the correcting the users that represent at the model that is creating before. This is a repetitive process. This is a repetitive process, right? A recursive process is continued until either a maximum number of models is added or the complete training the dataset is predicted correctly. IDBoost was one of the most successful boosting algorithm that were developed for a binary classification. Here you can see predicted on same training data that is updated the training data set D2 and updated the weighted training data set D3, right? These are updated. Strong classifier from the weak classifier from the model. You can see the diagram, right? Then in this where the dataset is used and implementation. Actually, we are taking the dataset from Kaggle named Online Payment Fraud Detection using machine learning for the case is available in CSV, comma, CSV means what? Comma separated value. Format having 63 lakh 62,620 rows and 10 columns. Now let's understanding the dataset. To identify online payments for fraud with machine learning, we need to train a machine learning model for classifying fraudulent and non-fraudulent payments. For this, we need a dataset containing information about online payment fraud so that we can understand what type of transaction lead to be fraud. Here the software I am using Anaconda Jupyter Notebook, Python version 3.8.5 and implementation is on progress. Here some of the implementation parts, screenshot is attached. In this implementation, decision tree classifier gives the accuracy 99.94%. Here you can see the above data set, right? You can see the data set, right? Here you can see the transaction type, right? Decision tree classifier 99% for 94 and no fraud, right? Thank you. Here is the I am happy to share the pre-processing data set of the machine learning cyber attacks, and this is the small representation, right? In next afterwards, we will see the rest parts, right? Or some improved parts, and we can communicate it, right? Thank you.